Let's just take a deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth.
This would have made less money than the Wiggles movie, I think, if it would have went to theaters. So just throwing that out there.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Popcorn Bucket List, and today we actually got quite a bit to talk about here, I'd say, today.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to be a fun one for sure here. So, I don't know, let's just jump right into it here. Before we actually get into our opening spotlight, we're going to do another little edition of PBN, Popcorn Bucket News. We're going to do a little, we never really did come up with a... Yeah, there we go.
That's pretty good.
We'll just use that. Comic-Con happened last week. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of hype around this one, though.
No, usually it's like you hear about it for like a week or two leading up to it. They're discussing, who's going to be the booths and who's the special guest that nobody knows yet, but it's already leaked, but nobody knows yet. And there was none of that this year.
Yeah, I felt like there was a little less hype here, and there wasn't a lot of big announcements, but there were a few. So we're just going to kind of recap a few of them here, at least the ones that I took note of. I don't know if you had any that you noticed as well.
Nothing.
But just a few. I would say DC Comics did actually have a presence at Comic-Con as opposed to Marvel. They didn't even show up at all here this year. We've debated and discussed that in episodes prior, but they didn't have anything huge necessarily to announce. However, they did sort of hype up Peacemaker Season 2. Mm-hmm. I put Season 2 in air quotes because I've talked to you about this before. Technically, it's Season 2, but it's also technically kind of not because Season 1 isn't technically canon, or maybe it is now based on this trailer. I don't know. We're dumping into the multiverse a little bit earlier than I would like to on the DC Comics world. Let's just say that. So... did you ever get a chance to see Peacemaker Season 1?
No, I have not yet.
It's pretty short, like 8-episode run. It's
pretty good. We just finished Squid Games, and that's on our list of possible shows to watch next. So I think that's what we might be rocking to.
Well, you got a couple weeks to catch up on that because it'll be coming out here, I believe, in August. But I guess the main thing about this is it is set 1 month after the events of Superman. Mm-hmm. Now, whether that's just to kind of build this universe timeline, or will it actually kind of address a few of the things that happened in Superman?
I don't know, because, well, I guess can't say that.
That's just it. We can't really get into it. I don't think it's too soon for spoilers, I suppose. But I guess I think it's just a universe building thing. Yeah. I think they're just saying, because I guess this is a minor spoiler, there is a cameo in this Superman movie that is tied to Peacemaker. Yep. And but I don't think it's really going to actually connect too much here, personally. But I do think it'll be something to check out for sure.
I agree with you. I think it's just a world builder. It's, hey, just so you know, this is happening at the same time as this, or relatively same time as this. So,
which I also do kind of like because, Peacemaker actually coming out almost exactly a month after Superman. Mm-hmm. Now it's actually set a month. I like it when movie studios can do that. I get that that's not a thing you can do all the time. There's logistics. There's all this other stuff. But if you can actually kind of release your thing at around the same time as the actual the time in between the two projects were, I always thought it would have been more interesting if Avengers Endgame was set 1 year after Infinity War. Mm-hmm. You could have put it at any
instead
point
of
in time.
4. Yeah,
it was like 5.
Was it?
At that point, I'm like, the Earth has moved on at this point. I think they almost did more damage there, but that's a whole other conversation. I just think it puts the audience in a more, I don't want to say realistic, but kind of puts them in the experience a little bit more. When you're sitting there going, it's been 1 year, or in this case, it's been 1 month since then. We've all had a month to recover from this. So have the characters.
And it's been a month since I've seen this. So I get it. That makes sense.
Again, I realize that's not always the case, but I appreciate when studios can do that.
It tracks.
A couple other big announcements. We got, I believe, the first trailer for the It prequel series. That's right, Pennywise. We're getting a little bit more of him. Yeah. I think this was the route that the It franchise needed to go, because we've seen the Kids of Derry take on Pennywise. We've seen him done twice, actually, now, because we had that miniseries in the 90s. We've seen him now in this new one as well. But they've basically said, there's centuries this guy's been around.
Yeah.
Let's see what he did in other time periods. I want to see him in like colonial age.
Yeah, that like
did he inspire the witch trials or something?
Yeah, that's what I think. It reminds me of like Fear Street. I think it was called Fear Street. There was like 3 parts, and it was like one was like now, one was like the 70s, and one was like the 1920s or something. And like I would love like a 1800s one. That would be super cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they don't have drains back then.
Yeah.
What? How's that work?
He just goes down the well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You'd have to change up your format a little bit.
I
want to see Pennywise evolve as a scary person.
Yeah.
You know, like he obviously didn't use balloons back in the day.
Yep, they didn't have balloons.
They didn't have balloons.
Was it like sheep intestine that you'd fill up?
Yeah, I suppose it would be
something weird like that.
Yeah. Even Pennywise is like, I'm good. I'm
That's
good.
all right.
I'll just wait till balloons. I'll just wait. But yeah, that's going to be coming out here in October. Perfect time for Halloween, set in the 60s. This was a very tumultuous time in general for America.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't think so much in Maine, but it kind of implies that either Pennywise is causing some of that in Maine, or maybe there was some more of that we didn't realize, or something like that.
Anytime you can throw a serial killer, per se, into the mix of things, it's always a tumultuous time. Or they always appear in those sorts of times, too.
That's fair. Whenever there's a serial killer movie, the opening is never... It was just the best of times.
Yeah.
It was just great. It was just great. Everything was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I guess we got to mention this one, throw one out to the Trekkies out there. A new Star Trek project was announced. A trailer was released as well. Starfleet Academy. I'd say the big thing here stars Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, the man.
Love to see him as a villain for sure. Had to do a little bit of digging in this one because the Star Trek timeline is so vast. I believe this is taking place after Star Trek Discovery.
Okay, after Discovery.
And it's going to focus a little bit more on the actual training that these guys go through before they're kind of set out in space and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure where that lands in the timeline. I'll be the first to admit I'm not a big Trekkie. I've seen maybe a few episodes of the original TV, and I've seen like 2 of the 3 Abrams movies.
Yep.
That's
I'm in
about
the same
it.
boat.
So
I would say if Quentin Tarantino directed a Star Trek movie,
biggest miss in Hollywood.
I
Hey,
would
Ryan, sorry, stop getting so far away from your mic. I can barely hear you.
I would definitely 100% be a Star Trekkie fan. It would be awesome.
At the very least for that movie,
Yes.
probably.
No, I'd dive into the whole thing. Maybe even
I
read the
wouldn't.
books.
I wouldn't. I don't think
That's
there are
why
books.
I wouldn't read the book. Oh, there's books.
Are there
There's
books for
plenty of books for Star Trek. Oh, yeah.
that? Yeah, I probably wouldn't read the books either. But yeah, let's move into the final announcement here. The one that I really wanted to talk about here. This is what I would say is the big one that came out of Comic-Con, at least in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Coyote versus Acme, a movie finally getting its release date. Here's why this is such a big deal for people who maybe don't know the full backstory of this. This was another movie, and there are more than a few that I'd like to admit that this happened to, that got made, it was produced, it was done, and then the studio was like, we're not gonna release it.
Yep.
We're just not gonna put it out there.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Warner Brothers has done this to a few. In recent times, by the way, as well. It was kind of a trend there, and so this was just kind of the latest one to kind of fall into the abyss of the archives, not to see the light of day. Despite the fact that all the actors, I know Will Forte really kind of came out and was like, no, this is a really good movie. And from what I've heard about him, he's kind of a perfectionist in his art and his work. So if he's coming out and saying it's pretty good, then I feel like we were really missing something here. But it was finally announced. It will be released, set for August 2026. So now all we got to do is wait for Batgirl.
That's quite a bit of a time.
It is a ways.
That's a waiting game.
It is a ways.
Are they changing anything or doing anything, or what? I wonder what brought the decision to bring it up next year.
The only thing I could think of is so that it wouldn't compete with any of their other releases, maybe. Or maybe they just thought, well, we've waited this long, this might be our best shot to get some money out of this, I suppose, or whatever.
Crazy.
There's not a lot of competition in August, and we'll talk more about that as we kind of go through it here. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? On studios kind of scrapping these projects, not letting them see the light and day in general?
It's hard because if they've made something, I want to see it. I want to see it. A lot of people put a lot of time and a lot of work into it, and it's done. It's completed. Let's see it. And I almost feel some of those things, you could just release them on your streaming platform if you think they aren't going to do very good or you think they're bad. Yeah, but just holding it and like saying, oh, yeah, it's done. Everything's good. But no, you don't get to watch it. That hurts. But I also see it from the business perspective of, well, we'll just take it as a loss. We can use it as a tax write-off because we didn't put the movie out. So I don't know.
It really is, though, a slap in the face. For me, though, I get the business side of it. I do get that argument, and I do think there's merit to it. But also another side of the business is, okay, let's say I'm the up-and-coming guy, filmmaker, whatever. Well, I'm maybe not going to work with your studio as much if I hear that not once but twice but a few times this happens where it's like, oh, well, yeah, you made the project, got 100% done. That's just, for the most part, it sounds like this was 100% done.
Yeah.
It's not like they necessarily needed reshoots or anything like that, and they were just like, we're just not going to do it anymore.
Yep.
So I just feel like it just hurts your credibility as a studio.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if maybe there's not something more else in the back end that they don't want to talk about or can't talk about, or lawyers or something, you know what I mean? Because there's always that chance that something is out there.
Yeah, but that's not really a great excuse, in my opinion.
I agree, but
anyways,
yeah.
We'll talk more about that movie hopefully in the time being later on when it actually comes out. Just from reading a little bit of a story synopsis, I think it seems pretty funny. I don't know how much we want to talk about it here or whatever, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to that, and just kind of glad that there was a little bit of a win there, so to speak.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe this will do really well, and then it'll open up the door for other projects to come out.
This is I jokingly said this gives me hope for Batgirl. This gives me like a sliver, like a not even 1% chance hope, if I'm going to be completely honest. But if it does do good, then be like, hey, maybe try with Batgirl or something like that. I'm just saying, Sony was stupid enough to release Morbius twice, and we can't even get Batgirl out once.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What's happening? What are we doing here?
That's Sony, though.
I know, but can we, like, you know that show Wife Swap, where they would swap?
Yeah.
Like, can we do studio swap for a second? Just send the studio execs over to Warner Brother for a minute, and then we'll trick them. We're like, yeah, we'll definitely watch Batgirl. We'll watch it 3 times in the theater if you put it out there, and we'll watch it our once, and we'll get it. But then we'll switch back for a second.
And then we'll be back.
That's what I would do to Hollywood.
Wife Swap.
But for
Good
studios.
callback.
Yeah.
I remember that when that first show first came out. Wild.
I only thought of that because I just recently watched that quick documentary on Balloon Boy. They did on Netflix, that train wreck series they do.
Yeah.
And they like talked about how like that family was on Wife Swap. Like,
really?
Before all that
I didn't
happened.
know that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
The family is crazy.
Well, that family's crazy, but
that was almost going to be my number 1 recommend at one point was Trainwreck Balloon Boy. In fact, just mini recommend for that. But let's move on then to the opening spotlight and talk about some more comedies. This week, we see the remake of The Naked Gun coming out here, which reminds us that the 1980s had some of the best comedies of all time.
Oh yeah.
Let's be honest here. Let's just not shine. Let's just not dim the light anymore. 80s was peak for comedy, and we're gonna try and determine the best of the best. This was sort of a tough / easy job for me because I feel like I could come up with like 20 different top 3s maybe because there's that many to choose from. But at the same time, when I looked at my 3, I was like, yeah, no, I'm pretty good with that. Pretty solid with that. So, we're just going to do a very simple, classic Olympic medal ranking here. Top 3, bronze, silver, gold. And why don't you kick us off? What's your bronze pick, number 3?
My bronze pick, I went with Spaceballs. Very classic. If you're a fan of Star Wars, you've more than likely seen Spaceballs. And if you're not a fan of Star Wars, you've still probably more than likely seen Spaceballs. So many classic jokes, classic one-liners. They don't really make movies like this anymore, like at all. And I think it's a classic film. Everybody needs to watch it at least once. Get the jokes. It's great.
I mean, yeah, I'd say the closest in the near future is when Spaceballs 2 comes out in a year or so from now.
Yeah.
So I'm still disappointed they're not calling it Spaceballs 2, the excuse to make more money, which is one of the jokes in the first one.
Yeah.
I just feel like you should actually call it that.
You should have called it
whatever.
that. Yeah.
It's semantics, whatever. Mel Brooks knows what he's doing. My bronze pick here. I'm going to stick with this one at number 3. I'm going with Ghostbusters. I've done a lot of digging into this first movie in general. The things he kind of went through, the recastings, and all the sequels, everything that's come out since then has proven that this is a once-in-a-lifetime movie. This is a diamond in the rough. It just can't be replicated, and it's the fact that they were even able to stick the landing in the first place is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
it is a little sci-fi as well. It has a little bit of that paranormal spookiness. I mean, by 80's standards. I mean, the effects don't hold up too great, but whatever. But it is funny. You want to hang out with some of these characters, and they all are very distinctive. I feel like each and every one of them has sort of their own moment where they shine. And I just think Ghostbusters is just one of the classics for sure. So yeah, that's going to be my bronze pick. Slimer takes the bronze for that one there. So
very good.
Let's move on to silver. Looking at your pick here, definitely like this one as well. Again, I see nothing wrong with either of our lists, by the way, as I'm looking at both of these. Again, I could have come up with, there's 20 alternate dimension Nicks who have 20 completely different lists, like no overlap, I feel like. So why don't you tell them, what's your silver one here?
My silver one, I'm going with the Bill Murray classic, Caddyshack. And the best part is a lot of people associate that with Bill Murray. He's hardly in it. But this also, I think, gives people a great introduction to Rodney Dangerfield. If you haven't seen his other stuff, but you've probably recognized a lot of lines from that movie, especially with the Gopher, especially with Bill Murray. The comedy's just great, and this kind of, I also agree, goes back into the like watching behind the scenes and stories of making the movie. There's a lot of things that weren't going right making this movie, and they ended up getting it done, getting it made, and it is hilarious. And it, like you said, sticks to landing. It's great. So if you're a golfer, know a golfer, like comedy, like fake gophers, check it out.
And as you were saying that the whole time, I had the song that's very featured in that movie stuck in my head the whole time, as I'm sure many of the viewers also have that song stuck in their head. Hey, it's not a bad song. There are worse songs to get stuck in your head for sure. I'm going to go a little bit more fantastical with mine. This one has action. It has fantasy. It has romance. It has comedy. It's The Princess Bride. This just makes me feel good inside watching it. It is a warm blanket of a movie. And maybe it's because you're sitting there watching it in the sense of like the feeling of a grandpa telling it to his young grandchild and everything, trying to make him feel better. Like even as they cut away from it for like long periods of time, you still get that sense. You maybe forget that that's what's going on, but you still kind of get that feeling where it's like, oh, we're just sitting down reading a cool, fantastical story with action, adventure, thieves, sort of magic, or at least, when they're going to Bill Murray, he's like, no, your friend's just mostly dead. There's a difference between dead and mostly dead. And that whole scene, I love that scene. I don't know, it's probably one of the only romance movies that doesn't make me like gag, I guess, but I guess that's maybe because of the comedy portion of it as well, I suppose. Just some of the one-liners are so well delivered. I don't know. It makes me kind of want to go back in time to that sort of fantasy land and live that out. Even though I'm more of a sci-fi guy, I'd rather be on a space station, but I wouldn't mind hanging out in that world.
There you go.
I wouldn't mind hanging out with the Dread Pirate Roberts, as far as I'm concerned. But there can only be one number one pick, and why don't you just kick us off? What's your number one?
I'm going with the classic, the one and only, The Goonies. I didn't want to lift my shirt up. That was a truffle shuffle.
None of us wanted you to, and that was pretty good considering how you're sitting down while doing it. It's hard to do that sitting down.
One, it's really funny. It's great. The truffle shuffle, which was a huge trend when I was a younger kid, when I was just a wee tot, a little guy. My friends were kind of mean and made me do that sometimes, not all of them, just some of them. But It's hilarious. It's got a great storyline. It's got Sean Austin as a little guy before Samwise. Great character. It's got Josh Brolin, a powerhouse actor now, just a kind of muscular, weird teenage boy. It just, and like you're saying, it's got adventure. It's got a little bit of fantasy. It's got a little bit of romance. Just a great movie. I love it.
I think the best thing about the Goonies is the way that production design looks and everything. It seems like the way it's all kind of lays out and how it's set feels like you and your friends in your backyard kind of pretending to go through an adventure like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no actual serious person who hides a treasure would build an organ that secretly has 3 traps or whatever if you get the wrong note.
Yeah.
Like, that would just take way too much time to set up.
Yeah.
But that is totally something you and your friends would come up with. Like, oh, yeah, we got 3 lives. We got to figure it out. Oh, let's put an organ here.
Yep.
But it just kind of brings it to life, so to speak. So I think there's I think the reason why the movie is such a big hit is because it felt so relatable. It felt like us kids doing an Indiana Jones adventure. You know, Indiana Jones had sort of booby traps and all that sort of stuff, but it wasn't like Indy had to play a flute 3 right notes, and if he hit wrong, then
it was game over.
Then the lava monster came out or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it was kind of realistic, but
Yep.
this was fun, backyard, in real life, something we probably all did at one point or another that we were seeing on screen. So here's a film theory for you. Do you think the reason why Josh Brolin's character was hunting that treasure is because he thought one of the Infinity Stones was in that treasure?
Ooh, I like that. That's a good.
Just saying, one of those green little gems. Maybe it looks like the Time Stone or something like that. Maybe it got him on his journey or something.
Never know.
Just
Josh Brolin, he's a funny guy in that movie too. He
is. He is. He's a very underrated comedic talent.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with my gold pick here. I think this movie has the most jokes per minute of really any movie. I'm going with Airplane. I would also argue its sequel really sort of...
Soul Plane?
No.
Oh, I thought that was a sequel.
No, that's not. I
That's not the sequel?
I can't tell if you're being serious or not right now, to be honest. No, they actually had a sequel called Airplane 2, the sequel.
Yeah.
Which was the only funny joke in that movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Not a lot there. As much as Airplane 2, the sequel, set up this whole trend of comedy sequelitis where it's like, we're just going to do the same thing, and that kind of really started it. Airplane started the idea of a great comedy where it was just joke after joke after joke.
Boom, boom.
But it's not what I feel like we see more and more today, which is you can kind of tell it's just the actors improving and riffing off each other, which I'm sure is funny in the moment when it's all you and your friends just filming. But when you try to edit that together and we're viewing it after the fact, it's not as funny as it seems, I think.
Yep.
Here it's clearly scripted. It's joke after joke after joke, but it's planned. It's set up. They are laying down the track before they drive the train over it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like more and more comedy movies just rely a little too much on improv, so they're laying down the track as they're going, so to speak.
Yep, and that's a great. I like that way you describe that because I think that's very accurate to comedy movies nowadays, where a lot of it is just go with it. Like I remember, I think it was during COVID, they were having some problems with a Ryan Reynolds movie because he kept improving the lines and the writers weren't working, and you can't do that when you don't have the writers there. And there was some kerfuffle going on, but I'm a big. I don't mind improv a little bit. It can't be the whole movie. It can't be the bones of it. It has to have an actual plan. I like the laid out jokes, and they're funny. They're great.
Yeah.
You see them parodied.
I could come up with so many examples just in Airplane, but I'll use the one where the flight attendant's playing the guitar next to the child who's like in like hospital care or whatever, en route or whatever, and like she swings the guitar and it like unplugs her thing or whatever. Could that have been improv? Could they have just said like, oh, what if you accidentally swung it and it hit? Sure, maybe that could have come up with on the spot, but you had to set up the setting and the character to do that, and it wasn't just, oh, I'm just going to say this funny line and, everyone's going to laugh, we'll cut, and then we'll get a reaction shot after and all that.
Yeah.
Like, it was set up, and they just, they went with it there. And, again, maybe there was improv, but it does feel like nowadays more, they're just getting these funny people who are funny, Don't get me wrong, but they're all just kind of standing around. It's like, okay, we'll do what's in the script, and then they'll all come with their own funny lines and everything. It's like, well, this is a whole other tangent. I remember when like Anchorman 2 came out. I think I saw an interview. It was like, yeah, we joked and riffed so much we could have made like a whole second movie. And now rewatching that movie, I'm like, okay, but is that a good thing that you could have made a whole second movie? Because then that makes me think, did you have an actual plan with this one then?
Yeah. The first Anchorman was really good. Not a big fan of the second one.
Yeah. Second one had so much potential, though. But that's a whole other discussion topic for another day. But yeah, just the fact that I think they just kind of relied too much on comedy actors just coming up with their own parts, whereas that's the writer's job, I feel like. But anyways, that went on a little bit more of a tangent there on the state of comedy movies nowadays. But I think that is fair. We still talk about 80s comedies being the best, despite the fact that some of these are 30 years old. You know, there's not as many that I feel like if we were to do a top 3 today, we wouldn't have as much of a sample platter.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And back then, movies were cheaper. Yeah, Studios took chances on movies, on little B-rate comedy movies. They did that.
Well, yeah, especially on comedy movies because it was cheaper to make. Yeah, you said cheaper to make them.
Turnarounds faster, editing's faster.
All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there's so much benefits, but now studios don't do that anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, that's some of our thoughts on some of our favorite comedies. And again, a little bit of a mini rant just for bonus sake there for state of comedy movies. But let us know, what's your favorite 80s comedy of all time? I know it's a little bit of a tough decision to figure out, but your number one, let us know in the comments down below. Hey, we talk a lot about movies on this channel, but sometimes the ones we talk about aren't the most accessible. That's where the Marshall-Lyon County Library comes in handy. They have a great collection of physical media, as well as a couple of online services with many, many options for movies, TV shows, and documentaries. It's easy. Just get your own library card at the Marshall-Lyon County Library and gain access to their large variety of movies, TV shows, and of course, books. Also, be sure to check back every month as we here at Popcorn Bucket List make specific movie recommendations based on a monthly theme. So head on over to the Marshall-Lyon County Library for some of our favorites and check out the channel to get even more movie recommendations. And now, on with the show! Yeah, let's move on to the weekly preview, talk about all the movies coming out here this weekend. First things first, we're going to talk about one that's already out here, Wednesday, July 30th, Together. This one's coming to some theaters here, rated R, starring Dave Franco and Allison Brie, a real-life couple, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They are together. Are they married? I can't remember if they're married or not, but I know they are together.
Interesting.
Right now. They are playing a couple in this movie here as well. They sort of are starting their life, kind of getting a nice house, so to speak. Maybe they feel like they're kind of drifting apart, but there's something weird about this house. Or something's been put on making them kind of actually stick together.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah.
Is this all in her mind, or is this actually happening, do you think?
I think it's actually happening, and I'm excited for this. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, is this going to be like a cheesy romance movie? Like when I first saw the trailer a couple weeks ago, it was like, then I saw like, oh, they were stuck to each other. Wait, what? And then it just, my wheels started turning in my head, and I'm pumped for this. I like Dave Franco. I think he's great. I think he's a good actor. Allison Brie is a great actor as well. So I'm excited for this. This is a new take on a horror that I haven't necessarily seen before.
Do you think it's easier or harder to work alongside someone as a couple when you are a couple in real life?
I would say harder.
You think harder?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of on the fence. So justify why do you think harder?
I have a wife, and I just think it would be harder.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. I mean,
no,
if that's going to get... Okay, so if there's a random cut, it's because we didn't want to get Ryan in trouble here, I guess. But I don't know. I guess I've often said, like, I love my sister, but I don't think we could work well together on the set of a movie or something like that. Yeah. I don't know if we could play brother and sister very well, even though we are actually brother and sister.
I agree with you 100%. I love my wife, but I just know if we spent every waking moment together for a year, 8 months, whatever, every single day, and that's all we talked about was work when we were at home and when we were at work. When we do different things, we can talk and, feel that. But when you don't, when it's consistent every day, even when you're with your best friend, if you're with your best friend every single day over the summer, you want a couple of days off. You want to go hang out with some other friends or go do something else.
I mean, just picture that conversation coming home. Like, well, how was your work today, honey? Well, you missed your mark like 3 out of 4 times. But other than that, it was fine.
Other than that, it was great. And then it's just, well, you weren't giving me good directions. And then it's a whole can of worms.
I will say one positive, though. The commute's got to be a little bit easier.
Yes.
You're just going to take the one car.
Well, actually, only one car has to come to pick both of you up. They're not driving to work.
Let's be real here.
Let's be real.
Let's rephrase that. You only have to take one plane to work.
Yeah.
One plane.
Yeah.
To work. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about this movie here in general?
No, looks good. Hopefully, I get to see it in theaters.
Mm-hmm. But the big ticket items here Friday, August 1st. That's right. We've now escaped the craziness of July into the sort of slow down season part of summer movie season here. But I think there's still going to be some good ones.
Yep. So
let's talk about them here. The Naked Gun, like we said before, the remake to the 1980s classic, this time starring Liam Neeson. I'm just going to be honest here. I don't know if I've gone through a bigger shift between not wanting to see the light of day to I want to see this movie right now than I have with this movie. When I first heard they were doing a remake of The Naked Gun, my immediate response was, no, please don't. Why, God, why? All that stuff. And then I heard Seth MacFarlane was attached to produce. I was like, okay, maybe. Liam Neeson is Liam Drebin in this one. I was like, interesting choice, kind of swaying back. And then I heard kind of the production team behind this and the guy directing it. He's done a lot of Lonely Island stuff. I really enjoy him and his friends on. They're doing a podcast right now I've talked about where they talk about all their digital shorts they did on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a lot of on-camera stuff, but he also did a lot of behind-the-camera stuff, and I've really enjoyed his movies before. And then that first trailer came out, and gotta tell you, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked.
I'm in the same boat. I was like, really? They're making another Naked Gun movie? And I was like, okay, don't get me wrong, I like the first one. I'm not I think you like it a little more than I do.
I think a little bit more than a little more, but yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, and it was like, oh, they're making a new one, okay, whatever. And then I saw the trailer, and I was like, this looks hilarious. This looks funny, and I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it, and it's comedy like we talked about. It's joke after joke after joke, and it's written down. It's not improv. Those are not improv lines. You don't improv that. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, every piece of marketing material, I think that's come out after that. Every other trailer and all that has come out. Like, I think I mentioned this last week. I once I'm kind of accepted that I'm probably going to like it, I generally try to avoid marketing material. And that's the same here. Once I've kind of accepted that, I've been really trying to avoid it because I don't want all the jokes spoiled for me and everything like that. But some of them is pretty funny marketing and all that sort of stuff. I know they've been kind of putting a lot of work into that. But, I'd say probably one of my biggest concerns was Liam Neeson as Drebin. I think that looks pretty good, too. We got Paul Walter Hauser in this.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's going to have a great 1-2 week here.
The man.
He was in Fantastic Four. Yep. He gets to be in this. It's a good day for Paul Walter Hauser for sure. So, I don't know if there's much more I could really say about this. I went from please God no to please God anytime now in the span of a few weeks, by the way. So, let's also talk about another movie coming out here this weekend, The Bad Guys 2, another animated movie. This time the bad guys are trying to do good. They're trying to go straight. They're done with the whole robbing people stuff. You know, they're trying to redeem themselves.
That's the angle.
You think that's the angle?
That's the angle.
But no, they get drawn back into the criminal life and all that. Gotta do another heist. So it's that classic Fast Furious trope. One more ride, so to speak.
Family.
I think you joked about this one of the times when we saw a preview of it sitting down in the theater one day. They were like, "How much do you think they're gonna milk that Billie Eilish song?"
Oh,
I think you joked about that. I was like, I mean, you did pick the perfect song. You really don't need to do anything else with it. But
Ride it.
Yeah, might as well.
Ride the gravy train.
Might as well. It's still a pretty good song, I guess. What do you think about this one?
I like the first one. It was okay. I think I'll be indifferent on this one too. Just another kids animated movie. I'm pretty indifferent now. I've seen a lot of animated movies.
I think Sam Rockwell is a pretty good voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some comedic chops as well, and I think he'll be funny in this. I think everyone's gonna be funny in this, and all that. But yeah, it is just kind of the whole same old trope. We're trying to go straight. Life had different plans, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So, also coming out here this weekend to Netflix, My Oxford Year. This is sort of a romantic movie. Where one girl, played by Sophia Carson, is trying to get into Oxford.
She got into Oxford for 1 year.
She got into Oxford, I guess, yeah. But I don't know. The guy may be up to something here. That's the vibe I got. I don't know if I got a different vibe.
I got probably a bad vibe because as soon as I started this trailer and I sat through it and my head hurt and I wanted to just be anywhere but in front of my screen watching this trailer, I looked down and it was only a third over. The trailer wasn't even all the way over. And then the more I watched it, I got angry and I wanted to punch my screen. I don't know what it was, but there's some about this movie that I just irked me.
So this would be a bad time to connect my laptop to this via Bluetooth and crank up the trailer right now.
I don't.
If I had known you would have this visceral reaction, I definitely would have done that beforehand.
This
but it's gonna take me a minute.
This trailer made me upset.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the actors or the characters or the storyline or the way it was lit or the way they talk to each other. Everything about it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I can't. I'm happy this is going to Netflix, and I hope it doesn't make their top 10 when it comes out.
Well, so for those of you out there who want to see what makes one of the happiest people I know angry,
this movie just irks me.
Yeah, coming out this Friday to Netflix, I suppose.
My Oxford, yeah. I'm going to Oxford. It just everything about it just grinds my gears.
Are you just mad because their British accent sounds like you trying to do a British accent?
Yeah, that's one reason. And the way they look in the trailer like this, I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
I'm gonna be honest,
about it.
I didn't think you'd have such a.
That guy's supposed to be a professor. He looks younger than the girl.
Professors are younger these days. Kids are smarter.
I wouldn't say that.
Some kids are smarter.
I would not say that.
Okay, not in general.
You may have more paper, but I don't know if that means you're smarter.
Kids are smarter these days.
Okay, I'll give you that one. And I'm
not talking about Tide Pod kids. No, they're not smart.
No. And I'm not getting into it on here.
All right, let's just move on.
Yeah,
let's just move on. Let's just move on. Take a deep breath.
Don't watch this movie.
Okay, down, Rhino, down.
There's a reason it didn't go to the theater, because it's garbage. It's garbage.
Let's end on a more positive note here. Let's wrap things up with some number one recommends. I'll go first here this week. And I did rewatch The Naked Gun, the original, before this, in preparation for the new one coming out. I know you said you just thought it was okay or whatever. I still think this is one of the funniest movies of the 80s. If we were to go back to my list, I'd probably have it at number 4 and not quite the top 3. But it is right there for me as far as jokes per minute again. And a huge part of that goes to the actor who plays Frank Drebin. The serious deadpan delivery he does with all of those jokes is so perfected that you would think that this is like the third time he's done it when it's really kind of like his first time out. I think I remember actually hearing he was in Airplane as well. I think that was like his first comedy movie. Was Airplane. He was like a serious actor before this.
Before that.
And then went into comedy. And you just can't... It looks like he's been doing comedy his whole life.
Yeah.
So, the original Naked Gun, that's for me. So, I believe it's on Paramount. I just watched it on my DVD because I still have hard copies.
Or VHS, if you got it.
I don't have any of those. I got a few.
I got some VHS.
I got a few. I shouldn't say that.
And I have a VHS player that works, which is awesome.
That's like gold.
It's money right now.
That's gold
money
right there. But yeah, I believe it's on Paramount Plus for those who want to watch it before this new one comes out. So that's going to be my number one recommend. Mr. Meyerberg, what's yours?
Fantastic Four. I think that's how the song goes. So good. I really enjoyed Fantastic Four. Ralph was great. Paul Walter Hauser, awesome. The superheroes were good. It's a little bit more of a thinker. It's a slower burn than Superman, if you're comparing them to both, because they both came out recently. But overall, I really liked it. There was some questionable CGI things, but I would say watch it on the bigger screen, the better. It will be easier for your eyes to digest. If you watch it on a small screen, it looks bad. Yeah, Pedro Pascal, everybody else was good. Yeah, go check it out.
Supposedly that baby was live action the whole time.
That's lies.
That's what Vanessa Kirby said in an interview I read this week.
I don't think she knows what she's talking about.
I know. I'm questioning it too. I'm like, do you know what I mean, she's pregnant, so I got to assume she knows what a baby is.
No, she has a baby inside of her. It's not out yet. You don't know. I have multiple children. I know what a baby's like.
I just thought that was very interesting because I know when that baby does show up on camera, we all kind of looked at each other a few times like, that's some interesting CGI there. But rough. She said it was live action the whole time. So
you might have had a live action like baby, and then they completely
they
CGI'd
probably
over
put
everything.
CGI over it, yeah.
Like, but still, it's like there's parts where it looks bad. And I'm still going with my argument. The reason the Thing is holding the baby so much is because it's cheaper to CGI that all as one unit than to have two separate units of CGI.
Yeah.
So if you go to watch it, if you haven't seen it and you go watch it, just make a mental note of how much the Thing is holding the baby.
Can't be comfortable for the baby.
It can't be comfortable for him either. Yeah.
He's all rock.
If I'm all rock, I'm not holding a baby all the time.
I guess it's just a testament to how much Ben has kind of like control of his powers, I guess. Because, he's cooking, he's in the kitchen and all that. He's not like destroying things while he's doing it.
He's not clobbered and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's what their point is with that. But no, I agree with you. I need to see pics of that baby on each and every single shot they had it in.
And then I'm not going
to be convinced.
There's one other real bad CGI thing. It was with Pedro Pascal when he was running, and it was like tight up, close up shot of his face. They should have just left that on the floor. They could have kept that out of that sequence, and it would have been totally fine. It kind of was like, for me, it was very jarring. It was like, oh, whoa. And then you go back.
They're now literally throwing Pedro Pascal at us.
Yeah, it was weird. It just was like, take that out. Maybe in the director's cut, they'll take that out.
I heard they're not going to do a director's cut, but I'd like them to.
I would like them
There's a lot on the cutting room floor, I think.
Oh, I believe it.
Because there's a lot of trailer moments that were not in the movies.
Correct.
A lot of them.
Probably a couple cameos, too, I bet.
Probably. Anyways, yeah, that's going to do it for us here on this episode of Popcorn Bucket List. If you need more stuff to watch here on YouTube, I mean, there's plenty of stuff to watch on YouTube. But if you need a little direction as to what other stuff you want to watch on YouTube, check out a couple of suggestions we have in the description down below. For myself, Ryan, and Carter, we'd like to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you at the movies.